Welcome back, all you Fabricans and Fleshbags, to the Super Not Funny Show Reviews. I am Jen Thépuppét, your friendly neighborhood fabricant and commenter extraordinaire on all things pop culture. Today, I'll be giving you my thoughts on the latest episode of WandaVision. That's streaming on Disney+. It's episode 6, entitled All New Halloween Spooktacular. It's the 90s, yo! Was it good? Was it bad? And should you be watching? Let's find out, because I have opinions about things. Must-see TV originated in the 90s, if you remember, which is fitting because WandaVision's been exactly that these last few weeks. Seriously, how are they doing this? How are they maintaining the same intensity and ingenuity episode to episode? I think you have to give it to Jack Schaefer. I think I'm saying that right. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but Jack Schaefer, that's how it's written. But she knows how to write an episode, especially with a big ending. And Matt Shakman is directing the hell out of all of the episodes, and he directed the hell out of this one. Well, it's the 90s. The 90s. Everything is extreme and ironic and kind of shaky cam. It's totally not weird that Pietro is just this couch surfing bum that looks nothing like Wanda's brother. And this is a Halloween episode, you know, the Halloween special that we all always seem to get in sitcoms. And so, of course, any weirdness is totally okay with just the normal people around. You know, even if it's the weirdness is everything happening immediately because of speedsters. And I'd say it looks like, in the show at least, that maybe Wanda's gotten studio notes because this episode, there's a ton of children around. And we noted in the previous episode, Vision was like, where's all the kids? Well, here they are. And she kind of goes out for this Halloween special. But we have to ask, is she really going full bad guy? Is she? I think some of the revelations when she's talking to Pietro, sort of, you would guess about it. Who is Pietro anyway? Like, she doesn't seem to really know. She's testing him throughout the episode. And we have to wonder, how much does he actually know about the situation? I think a good bit, maybe not as much as you think. Meanwhile, Vision's on a mission to find out what's really going on and to get some help. Because we saw he has kind of put some of the clues together and realized Wanda's kind of doing things and he loves her and he doesn't want everything to go bad, so he wants to find some help. But what he finds out, not so good. And then, of course, we got that crazy ending. This whole show seems to be about crazy ending, and that's a crazy ending. And we wonder, what does it mean about Wanda's power and its limits? And, Lord, that's not even mentioning the stuff going on with Sword outside of the barrier. So there's a lot going on in this episode. And like the previous two episodes, this one's crammed with exposition, crammed with Easter eggs, and many more unanswered questions. And I don't know about you, I'm loving every minute of this. I'm glad that they're mostly sticking with the sitcom stylings, a choice that feels and continues to feel fun and fresh, while it also shines a glaring light on all that's weird and wrong in the Hex. Wanda's uncertainty and wondering about Pietro seems to be affecting her control, and you know that's not good. And the twins are growing up so fast, and they're becoming awesome, and their changes really feel like the good kind of fan service, especially for people like me who have read comics and seen everything. And so we recognize how they're drawing on the comics. This is as I said before, it's a particular strength of Marvel Studios, the way they can do fan service without it being pandering or weird or whatever. And they seem to adapt it better than most people adapt the written pre-existing material. Of course, there's the sword drama that's going on outside of the barrier, and you know what? Let's call it what it is. Pretty freaking generic. very generic. Oh, there's some stuff going. We disagree. We're gonna have to go rogue. It's not nothing we haven't seen before. But here's the thing: even though we've seen it before, even in the MCU, it's still pretty damn fun to watch. It feels really good. We know that overall, this show keeps hinting at some big ramifications of what's happening, the barrier, etc., and not just for Wanda. And they're telegraphing some of the moves they're going to make in the future, and I'm down with it. So overall, we got another awesome and satisfying episode that'll have us talking all week. They're displaying a deft and very sure hand here, giving me all the confidence Marvel is going to be as good at TV as they are at the movies. Look, are you into the MCU? Is this your jam? Do you even casually like the MCU? Well, damn it, you should be watching this episode. Not this episode. You should be watching this show, period. But this episode, you should not be missing it. It's important and vital. It's going to help you understand what's going on in the MCU going forward. But damn it, it's just damn good TV. And I highly recommend it. So get out there and watch that episode. Okay, that's my spoiler-free thoughts on episode 6 of WandaVision. It's called Halloween Spooktacular. I think I said that right. So, did you like my review? Did you agree with me, disagree with me? Why don't you hit me up in the comments down below, or by email, supernotfunnyshow@gmail.com, or at supernotfunnys1. I'd love to hear from you. While you're in the clicky mood, why don't you hit the subscribe button down below so you can have access to our content on the regular, and the notification bell so you'll know when we drop the new content. We really appreciate you checking out this review. But that's the end of the spoiler-free thoughts. So if you don't want to get spoiled, get on out of here. All right, we'll see you next time. I think they're gone. So, spoiler time. Let's get into these. There's a lot. There's so much. Every episode's just chock full of stuff. It's ridiculous. It's a bounty, an endless bounty. I loved that intro. So, what a 90s intro. I think one of the best things they do is the loving send-ups of the genre as it morphed through the decades. Everything's just extreme and the shaky cam, and everything feels like, there's a skateboard somewhere. And the casual use of the powers in the intros. It just really makes me think, first of all, that the people who made this love TV, but also that Wanda herself loves TV. And she's going out of her way to actually make these intros. It's an interesting and possibly wasteful use of powers. I like that there are callbacks to the comic material. Again, I mentioned before. But the twins have, they're going to be Speed and Wiccan. Let's just call it what it is. Speed and Wiccan. Billy gets his magic powers and Tommy gets his speed powers. There you go. We're going to get Young Avengers. Calling it. I mean, duh. We know they're going to get Young Avengers because they've got the Miss Marvel TV show coming out. There was a lot of fun, just like a fun little things. Like, apparently Sokovian fortune tellers look like Wanda. It's, okay. Sokovians are weird. That flashback joke to, it's very much like a TV show from the 90s, but that little flashback to when they were kids and getting a piece of herring or something for Halloween. It's weird. She doesn't remember it that way. This again, is Pietro actually her brother? What's going on there? Is he the X-Men brother? Even then, he's not the X-Men Pietro because the X-Men Pietro wasn't from Sokovia. There was no Sokovia. And where are their accents? They actually say, "Where's your accent? Where's your accent?" We've been wondering that ourselves for years. I did like the kind of weird tension that's going on between Wanda and Vision this time. After last episode, why wouldn't there be? There's the point where he's like, well, there's nothing else in the closet, which indicates that maybe, her attention to detail in the simulation isn't so good. And just the little tension that works there, and that everyone recognizes that there's tension. There's tension there. Wanda and Vision, they're beefing. They're beefing on the low, and they're not really talking about it. Especially see that little side kiss. We get a look at the internal struggle at S.W.O.R.D. Look, they've been telegraphing this. Hayward's not on the level. Let's just call it like it is. He's not on the level. Is he going to be doing this thing where the S.W.O.R.D., the director of something is just like an evil bastard? I hope not. They do that too much in the MCU. Be better than that. Be better than that. But he's got some agenda going on, and I don't know what at this point. It's weird. Again, trope. They overpower the guards. Who are these guards they send after them? Just be better than that. They shouldn't be that easily overpowered. Well, I wonder about why is Darcy a hacker? Why? Because she does astrophysics. What does she do that shit on the side? I know they needed it, but seriously, why can't they just be like, oh, someone left this terminal open. We're totally accessing all of the whole network just because someone's lax, rather than, oh shit, I got super hacker powers. Woo. It's interesting the way they're examining Wanda's powers and what they mean and how they're working. I sort of suspected some of what they were revealing. Like, I wondered if, how detailed can the simulation be if just a human mind is running it? She can't keep up with everything. So, how is she taking care of everybody? It explains why everyone's in pain. Like, further away from her, no one lives a real life. The further away from her you are just a prop that's sitting around, frozen in place, unused until she walks by. And how much of this show takes place in more than like a few blocks radius? So there's like a town full of people that are just, frozen in time, and it's pretty insidious and awful actually when you think about it. In that way, it was kind of horrifying, really, seeing Vision walk around and realize, he gets to have some agency because she's invested a lot of power in him. These other people are just window dressing, and so they're insignificant. And this is the reality that she wants to maintain. This is why the heel turn is so significant. I did love the Vision floating above like Superman and hearing everything and all. That was such an awesome nod to Superman. I loved it. The whole scene with Agnes was pretty crazy. That she got her memory back and like, this is awful, everything's wrong, and we're just, we're doing what she says. Is she still on the level? I wonder if Agnes is a good guy or bad guy. We don't know, but she is able to operate somewhat independently, and so is Herb. So I just wonder, if you're around Wanda enough, are you able to struggle against the control a little bit? I'm not sure, but Herb definitely showed that he sort of knows what's going on. Maybe not what's going on, but he knows he's got to make her happy. It's interesting in that interaction with Agnes that we see for real. Vision has zero memories from before Westview became a thing. So is this because Wanda doesn't want him to remember painful things? Because Wanda doesn't want to remember painful things or be reminded of it? Can she literally just not give him any of the memories because she doesn't remember the memories? We don't know. It's a good question, and I think an intentional question that they pose to us. I did enjoy Agnes's witch costume and that crazy witch laugh. I see what you're doing, Marvel. You're not fooling anyone. They reference Monica's mysterious contact. Look, everyone's talking about the Fantastic Four or whatever. It could be a lot of people. We'll see. I honestly, I'm not thinking too hard about it. I mean, I don't think anyone's guessing about that Monica's going to get superpowers. She's going to go into Westview one more time, and when she comes out, she's going to have her binary powers. Calling it. If I'm wrong, whatever, it's not a big deal. But it's pretty clear they're setting that up. So Pietro. Maybe he's not the X-Men Pietro. Yeah, maybe they just brought him in for shock effect. But he knows he was dead, and then now he's not dead, and she was called by her, and he had to come. But what's weird is he was called in the way an actor will be called to the set of a movie and like, oh, I know I'm here to act, and he, there's a lot of fourth wall breaking shit that he's doing and talking about. And I find it interesting because he's playing not just, he understands this is a simulation that she's made and that he's there to serve her desires there. And it's really interesting the way he casually talks about it, again, as if he's an actor on a set. On the other hand, maybe he's not that one. Well, maybe more credence that he's not the X-Men one, X-Men Pietro, is because she sees him dead the way she saw Vision dead. I think it's interesting how he's like, nah, do your thing. This is your reality. It's interesting that maybe you're not totally evil because you kept the kids like alone, in bed or whatever, instead of having them move around, maybe to keep them out of being in so much pain. It's fun to see Wanda flip that switch and go ham. Once we see Vision, Vision escapes the barrier, and he is what we suspected. Really, maybe that the barrier, the whole Westview was really made just for him. Not just for Wanda, but for him. He can't escape. He doesn't exist outside of the barrier. And it's interesting that the barrier just won't let him leave. It's also interesting, we get a little more exposition finding out that Wanda either didn't create the barrier or she doesn't remember how she created it. But either way, she knows how to control it, and she's using it to a full effect. That fucking effect of expanding it so that Vision couldn't escape and then turning everything to a circus, that was pretty awesome. And it makes me wonder, what's going to happen with all that next time? What about Darcy, right? Like, what's going to happen to her? What does she turn into? She's gone in and it's going to rewrite her every matter. So should be interesting. Very, very interesting. But what we know for sure is Wanda's dumb powerful, stupid powerful. And if someone else is, egging this on, what's their end game? Are they trying to get power from her? What do they want? I know everyone's talking about Mephisto and stuff. I'm not going to believe Mephisto until I see Mephisto. I'm just curious. What is it? And we're meant to be curious. And I could go on and on about that, but you know what? Let's leave the speculation for the chat board and Twitter and whatever. So speaking of, that's the end of my spoiler thoughts. Got some comments about that? Leave me one down below. Or you can hit me up by email, supernotfunnyshow@gmail.com, at supernotfunnys1 on Twitter. Love to hear from you. While you're at it, please hit the like and the subscribe. And, of course, you get the notification so you know about the next time we drop a video. Go check out this episode. Check out this whole series. It's worthwhile. Trust me. In the meantime, you guys, we got some new things coming for you in the future, but that's not a good ending. 1, 2, 3. But I do thank you for joining me for this review of the WandaVision episode 6, and come back and join me for the next review of this series or in all my other reviews and the Super Not Funny show. I'd appreciate that. Until then, I have been Jen Thépuppét, your resident fabricant and commenter extraordinaire on all things pop culture. I'll catch all you Fabricans and Fleshbags on the other side of the thread. Peace.